Natanz, and Isfahan. Do we bomb first and ask questions later? Do we ignore human suffering when it's politically convenient? Do we believe in human rights for Alor only for our allies? The strike on Iran's nuclear sites may be a tactical success, but the moral cost? That's up to us to decide. Stay aware, stay critical, and never stop asking, who pays the price for our so-called victories? President Donald Trump immediately took to social media, calling it a great success. But what does this strike actually mean for Iran, for Israel, and for the world? Was this a tactical masterstroke or the beginning of something far more dangerous? Iran may retaliate. Israel is already preparing for a long conflict, and the US, whether it admits it or not, is now part of that war. What happens if another American airstrike hits a civilian center? What if Iran strikes back on US assets? The world is walking a tightrope and the stakes are nothing less than war in the Middle East. Organizations like Human Rights Watch have called it apartheid. The International Court of Justice has declared Israel's occupation unlawful. And yet, the US continues to fund Israel with billions in military aid even as allies like Canada and the Netherlands pause arms sales. When Israel kills hundreds in Gaza, we call it self-defense. When Iran retaliates, we call it terror. Then we bomb Iran. Is that justice or hypocrisy? The
Here at
lives
this
of
hour because we have
Palestinians,
breaking
like
news. Has
those of
just completed
Iranians,
three
often seem
successful attacks
invisible in
on
American
three
foreign
nuclear
policy.
sites in Iran. We've completed our very successful attack on the three nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and
American foreign policy. Supporting one ally doesn't require abandoning our values. In the U.S., Senator Bernie Sanders blasted Trump's move as unconstitutional. The president does not have the right to start a war, he declared, reminding us that only Congress can authorize military conflict. Senator Tim Kaine called the strike horrible judgment, pointing out that Israel had already set back Iran's nuclear program. So why escalate now? Internationally, cities like New York and Los Angeles went on high alert. In Tel Aviv, celebrations mixed with anxiety. Across the Middle East, the fear of escalation is very, very real. President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu had been in close contact. White House officials confirmed that they spoke repeatedly in the days leading up to the strike. This was a coordinated move, and for many in Washington, this was not just about Iran, it was about projecting strength. Senator Lindsey Graham called the strike the right call. Senator Ted Cruz said it prevents an immediate nuclear threat, but critics see it as reckless. Iranian officials say the sites had been evacuated, but that didn't prevent nearby villages from being reduced to rubble. Among the casualties are scientists, soldiers, and civilians, people who had nothing to do with policy decisions, paying the price with their lives. This wasn't just a military strike, it was an earthquake for Iranian families. 3 sites were hit in total: Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. According to Iranian reports, air defense systems were activated, but could not stop the impact. Explosions lit up the night sky. Trump called it a total and complete success. Let's break down what happened, why it happened, and why the moral questions around U.S. support for Israel are now louder than ever. At 2:00 a.m. local time, B-2 stealth bombers took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Their destination: deep underground Iranian nuclear sites. Iran's Fordo facility lies 300 feet below the Earth's surface, meant to be impenetrable. But the U.S. deployed massive ordnance penetrators, or bunkabustas, which can pierce that depth before detonating. The U.S. claims they targeted nuclear infrastructure, but Iran's health ministry paints a darker picture. Over 400 killed, more than 30 injured. Hospitals in Isfahan and surrounding areas are overwhelmed. This strike didn't come out of nowhere. For over a week, Israel and Iran had been trading fire. Israel claims it's acting in self-defense, trying to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons. The U.S. entered the conflict on the 9th day. Iran condemned the strike as an act of war. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Iran no longer trusts the U.S. and won't negotiate as long as Israel keeps bombing. Let's talk about the elephant in the room: U.S. support for Israel. For decades, Israel has imposed harsh restrictions on Palestinians, carried out bombings in Gaza, and expanded illegal settlements. President Trump says there are no current plans for further strikes, but history tells us these things rarely stop at one air raid. This isn't just about Iran or Israel. This is about who we are.